Hi and welcome to session 5 of Revelation Online.
So today we're going to be making a garden from the box lid that we saved from last week from your egg box.
So for this you can add your fairies, your dinosaurs, the bugs that we made from last week, or you can add whatever toys your little ones are into for your garden.
So you're going to need the egg box lid from last week. You'll need some tea bags. You'll need a spare jar lid if you've got one, some tin foil, some paper and some stones from your garden or from a walk that you may have been on.
And then on the practical side of things, you're going to need your scissors, glue, blue tack and your paint or anything to colour with.
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the lid and we need to colour the inside. So we've used green and we've coloured all of the inside green, leaving this top bit free from any paint at the minute. That's the bit with the little holes, so we leave that plain. So once you've painted it or coloured it, you can leave it to dry.
So once it is all dry, it's then to go on to the next stage, which is to turn these holes at the top into our flowers. So as you can see, we've coloured ours in red, but you can choose any colour of your choice. So once you have painted or coloured these in, we then have to add the stem. So to do this, you need to draw a straight line down from each flower and then add a little leaf. Then once you've done that, we need to colour in the whole section behind brown, because that later on is going to make our trees.
The next thing we're going to need is our tea bags, so we need to bring them to the forefront. So we're going to take our box, we're going to make sure if we've used paint it's going to be absolutely fully dry, and then using our glue we're going to glue half of the box lid that's away from the flowers.
So once you've done your glue, what we then need to do is to take our tea bag and our scissors. Then you snip off the corner of your tea bag like so, and then you sprinkle the tea all over the glue that we've just done. So we'll tilt that slightly so you can see. There you go. So then that makes our lovely garden path. So how many tea bags you need to use is going to depend on how big your egg box is.
So you set that aside and then you let that settle and dry, and then you take the tea bag, the white of the tea bag, and very gently rip it open. The next thing you need to do with your tea bag is, if you're using paints, to paint one side fully green, or you can take your felt pens and you can colour it green. This is going to be the top of the trees. So once it's done, you set that aside and leave it to dry.
So whilst that is drying, we are going to go on to make the water feature for the garden. So this is where, if you do have a spare jar lid, that's going to come in handy. And if not, just some tin foil or paper will be absolutely fine.
So we're going to have our lid, we're going to cut some tin foil, and then we're going to just cover, like so, the lid, making a nice little water feature.
So if you haven't got a spare lid, you can just cut out a circle of your tin foil or your paper, and when that's done, what we now need to do is stick it on. So taking your lid or circle, this is where you need your blue tack to stick some on. Then what you want to do is place it one end of your garden, press down nice and firmly so it sticks. Now what you can do, if you have used the lid, is actually add a sensory element to the garden. So to do this, what you need to do is get your hands on some rice if you can, and some blue food colouring. So you take the rice and you mix it with the blue food colouring, leave that overnight to dry in a little bowl, and when it's done, it will be nice and coloured, and what you can do is sprinkle that into your garden, and that will make a nice sensory element.
So the next thing we're going to do the grass. So to do that, we're using tissue paper, but you can colour some paper green to make the grass if you wish. First step to do is cut whatever you're using into strips. Once they're into strips, you just roll them up into a very small ball, and then you need to glue the rest of your garden, so that's near to the flowers and reaching to your little pathway. You take your screwed up balls of green and you very firmly press them on, and then you make sure that the rest of the garden is fully grassed.
So once you have added all the grass to your garden, we then need to go back to our drying tea bag covers, and when they are dry, we're going to use that to make the tops of the trees. So what we need to do is take in our glue a tiny strip along the top like that, stick them on so that the top bits are flapping over the egg box lid, and that makes your trees. So once that bit is done, what you can do is grab a black felt tip pen or black paint, and you can just add the detail to your tree trunks like that.
And then the last part of the garden is to take your stones, and you can paint them whatever colours and any way that you wish, and then wait for them to dry. Once they're dried, you place them into your garden wherever you wish them to be.
And then it's time to add in your toys. So you can add whatever you fancy in like that. And what you can do as the weeks go along and you collect up more egg boxes is you can create different lands for all your different toys. And that brings us to a close for today. So thank you so much for watching session 5. We hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, please help us keep the business going by reacting below and giving us a share.
So join us next week when we'll have more crafty ideas.
So remember to stay safe, stay indoors, and thank you again to all of our key workers.
Bye.